We have many new tools. We have scaffolds, we have bioactive molecules, we have stem cells, we have nanoparticles. This is a way of drug delivery, and we have tissue engineering, and we can put all this into the scaffold, and then we are able to make a new reaction of the implant which has never been able before. The breakthrough technologies are stem cell technology, the human genome, nanofibers, tissue engineering, and then the real good thing, the small interference RNA drug delivery systems given by nanoparticles. This will be a big shot for the future. We can do scaffolding by machinery. We nanoparticles in there, and they are staying there, and they can work there, releasing the drugs where we actually make an environment around the nanoparticle where you have these sRNA working together with the local messenger RNA to elicit a specific action of either degranulation or protein production or blocking, silencing. So with this we have a wonderful tool, and we just came out 2 weeks ago with this study where we actually were able with this system to differentiate the stem cells via this sRNA and nanoparticle functionalization, which really opens a big door for the future in musculoskeletal tissue engineering. Both cartilage repair, where we can do biphasic plug construction, but also molecular strategies in treatment of metastatic bone disease, as we have done a lot in the past, trying to set up models and have these systems to work there. Also with new scaffolds which actually provide improved cell seeding efficiency, sustained drug release. Some of these drugs are very toxic, you know. Deoxyrubicin is very cardiotoxic, so you cannot just have it out. You really have to control it, and this new implant will actually be able to, is able to do this. When we have these new biologic development, really we must look at it in a wider perspective, and I'm sure you understand that we also understand that biological treatment is just one small block in a lifetime disease. So that's the reason why I think we have to look in orthopedic disease, musculoskeletal disease, in a broader perspective. I've also heard other speakers talking about this, that you really have to look at the whole cost and the whole gain. That means the whole cost for the society prior to treatment, during treatment and after treatment, and with respect to being employed or unemployed, being able to return to work, etc. All that has to come into your science now, really, to find out whether things are working or not. So you have to incorporate economics in your randomized prospective studies. And this is an example here, cost effectiveness diagram, improvement in life quality, deterioration in life quality, increased costs, saved costs, and thereby you can calculate what is cost effective. We did that, and for instance were able to show that doing more severe surgery actually gave a much better result 5 to 10 years down the line, for instance in lumbar spine fusion. Also another paper, winning paper on femoral ring allografts, showing to be much better than titanium implants. With these instruments we have actually been able to set up a large-scale program, a national program in Denmark, where we look at in spinal disorders, we look at rehabilitation, we look at regeneration, we look at new technologies and treatment of the aging spine, running from preclinical setting to inclusion of patients to cost effectiveness calculation. So we expect a lot from this. So we will be better able to ask in maybe 10 years time what was the real future for us. So my conclusion is that from my CICOT hat, I think that we really need globalization in orthopedics. We need to work together to get along. We have a special thing in CICOT with all those rural areas and all disasters. We have to improve this, and we are setting up teaching programs for this. And we try to raise money from Bill Gates Foundation, areas like this, really to get more money for this activity. Also, health economics, I think you understand what I said about that. With respect to orthopedic breakthroughs the next decade, I think global education and research networks will really be one big thing. Improved trauma care logistics, drug delivery systems, as I said, clinical research will focus more on cost effectiveness than in the previous times, and of course I think to this, all this, I remember what the dean said, that there is a fourth dimension, that all this actually brings us together, the world, and I really feel that it also gives a big humanitarian or element in my work, which is a real driving force also for the future. Thank you very much.